Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for coming back. I'm glad to be back. The price of Nervos Network has risen by 32.95% in the past 7 days. The price increased by 7.71% in the past 24 hours. In just the past hour, the price has grown by 1.11%. The current price is around 1 cent, 1.84 cents per CKB, and the Nervos network is 53.5% below the all-time high of 4 cents. CKB is traversing an inverse head and shoulder pattern, albeit a shadowing on the daily chart. A decisive close above the neckline, which comes in at around 19.1 cents, forecasts a 70% upswing and would push us upward towards previous all-time highs. If the trend continues, we could begin moving toward our bullish objective at around 15 cents. Watch out for a downswing, which could slice through the neckline. These moves tend to spook investors and can cause intermediate selling pressure until confidence rebuilds. These are common delays in price action when the market gets skittish, especially when there is inexperienced retail in the market. If during the slices we fall below the 1.3 cents, it could trigger a long wick down for a quick drink by the bulls before another surge north. CKB price prediction for this market cycle shows two distinct paths, and we can see them here. So the bullish outlook points to a max price near around 25 cents, and in a bearish outlook, we would, and this depends on the overall market turn of events, could see us break all-time highs around the 6 or 7 cents before the market goes into a long, cold winter. And, you guys can give me some feedback on this, but this is sort of what I'm predicting here. And this was taken by taking the wave 1 and putting it on the final wave 5. So I just basically took wave 1 here and put them in two different directions. So it's a common practice, and so that is the my prediction for this market cycle, which would be somewhere between 15 and 20 cents. We are currently moving upward, and CKB is, I know, ready to launch a few projects. So hopefully the news will continue to push us higher. And elsewhere in the market, so let's take a look at Cardano right now. So Cardano is not doing as hot as some people probably had expected, but right now I think that we're just people are spent. There's a lot of capital going elsewhere. So the bears have stunted several attempts. Get rid of this short-term stuff. We're just looking at the daily chart here. The bears have stunted several attempts by the bulls to push Cardano above the 297 to the 310 overhead resistance zone. The negative divergence on the RSI is also indicating that the bullish momentum is slowing down. The potential for a brief drop to the 20-day EMA, which rests around 265, will likely act as a strong support. If the price rebounds off this level, the bulls will again try to propel ADA above the overhead zone. And if the bulls succeed, the pair will start its journey towards the 350 right on the cusp of its which it launched. So these moments in time are far and in between as the market heats up with capital flowing from the NFT bubble that is on the verge of popping. We may not see an ADA below $3 ever again. However, if the price breaks below the 20-day EMA, ADA has a slight potential to drop to the 247 and bounce off this level. A bounce off this level could see a range around 310 for a few days. An unlikely scenario is a break below the 247, which would signal a possible change in hell from going hot to freezing. So Cardano made only about 0.9% gains in the last 24 hours. It was trading at 283, which is just, not just below its all-time high. If ADA loses momentum here and flips below the current trading price, it would land on the 266, which is the 1 week low price point. So, so I do not foresee us going down there. I think, there's a lot of capital right now moving elsewhere in the market, and there's a few parabolic runs in smart contract platforms, and I think that those runs are just about reaching their peak, and we will see capital moving through other smart contract platforms very soon. One such example would be Solana, and let me just pull up Sol so we can kind of take a quick look at what Sol's doing right now. Looking really, really hot. So Sol is in a really strong uptrend. The bears tried to sell the uptrend at the psycho level at 150. That was on the 4th. They could not pull the price below the 135. The shallow correction shows that traders were in no hurry to take profits. Aggressive buying has pushed the price above the 150. We are now currently at 172.8, signaling the resumption of the up move. Solana could now rally toward the next target objective at 179. So we've only got a few more dollars here, but get it while it's hot. While Solana is in a strong momentum, vertical rallies are rarely sustainable. They are usually followed by a sharp pullback as traders rush to exit when the rally stalls. So the bears will have to pull the price down to around 134 to signal the possible start of a deeper correction. So if it doesn't bounce off the 20-day EMA, which is down at the juicy price of 105, we could see further downside, but get your capital ready for that. So $105 would be pretty juicy. So Polkadot has been gradually climbing in its arduous cliff since breaking out of the $20 to $8 range, but the slow pace of the climb suggests that bulls are busy elsewhere in the market. With FETCH.AI and Phantom gobbling up smart contract interest this week, fear not, because all things that go up must come down. And while the RSI has formed a negative divergence, indicating that the bullish momentum may be weakening, once these capital flows from the NFT bubble and these other parabolic lifts, we will see distribution across other altcoin projects. DOT could drop back to the breakout level of $28.60, but this is only if BTC takes a breather. If we head this way and the price rebounds off this level with strength, it will suggest further bullish momentum to carry the uptrend toward the first target waiting at 41.40. Another potential move is that the price bounces off the 28.60, stays below $35, leading to a ranging for a few days between these two levels. And finally, for the DOT bears, a break below and close below the $28.60 will definitely suggest that the current breakout was a bull trap and the pull and pull the price down to around the 50-day SMA, landing at a cozy $22. So it really depends on what Bitcoin is doing, but I do not foresee that happening tonight. But who knows what next week? We've got some big players in the game now, and they like the price is cheap. So who knows? Bitcoin may take a little dip breather pretty soon. Anytime you see articles coming out saying that, we're never going to come back down again because the market is that hot, then something is in the works. VeChain has been really pumping today. So let me move my price prediction out of the way here. We will get to that in a second. So VeChain price is traversing an inverse head and shoulders pattern on the daily, similar to other smart contract platforms from the eastern regions. So VeChain price, a decisive close above the neckline at the 14.6 cents would forecast a 60% upswing. So we have, we have broken the 14.6. So, I do think that we are going 60% higher. But this is obtained by measuring the distance between the head's lowest point and the neckline. So here's the one shoulder, here's the other head, the head, and then here's the other shoulder. So if the buying pressure persists after a 60% ascent, which would bring us to around 23.4 cents, VeChain price could make a run at the April 17th swing high at 27.9 cents, which would constitute a 19% gain from the 23.4 cent target of the inverse head and shoulders. If investor, so please be mindful. Downswings that slice through the neckline could happen. So such a move would plant fear among investors and hurt the short-term bullish outlook. So in some cases, this may trigger a downswing that would delay the inverse head and shoulders playing out. So any decisive close below the 11.5 cent support level would invalidate this inverse head and shoulders. So keep an eye on that. So for a VeChain price prediction for the year, and same thing, I'm just taking wave one. This is actually a corrective wave. So the top of the VeChain prediction for this market cycle, max price would be $1.60, but more likely somewhere between the 64 cents and $1 mark. So if I was to make a prediction for VeChain this year, I would put my money on 75 cents, but we may, depending on the level of FOMO in the market, we may actually cap out around $1 or even better. Yeah. So, and just so you guys know, I mean, that is later this year or early next year. So if we are in a double top peak, as many analysts are saying we are, and I do believe we are, if we are in a double peak market, then I would say this is just the beginning, guys. Right. So even if we get, some immediate down, correction going on, I do think that we have plenty more room to grow here. So Bitcoin, my prediction for Bitcoin, and I don't have do I have it here? No, I don't have it here. Oh yes, I do have it here. My prediction was 120. Actually, no, 134. And then my bearish was 89.5 was my prediction for Bitcoin for this year. So I know there's people out there saying that it's going to go to, $250K, $1 million, but that's sort of what, the data is saying. So yeah, have a good night, guys, and check you guys out tomorrow.